I think we're live. I don't know. This is our first live stream. So you guys let us know how it sounds. And if anything's off, we will adjust. But my name is Joe. I'm the game director for Cranked. And here we got Brian, who's one of the founding owners. I think we're live. This is our first live stream. So and I'm hearing feedback, so I need to figure out where it's coming from and turn that off. And if anything's off, we will adjust. But my name's Joe.
Yeah.
The game director for Cranked. And here we got Brian.
I got you.
The founding owners.
Oh, good.
All right. In that case, let's play some Cranked.
Who do we have here?
Brian's
Taylor.
going to monitor chat and things like that.
Yeah. Taylor is Joe's friend, right?
Taylor and Cub are brothers, and they're both my friends from Chicago.
All right. What's up, Taylor and Cub? How are you guys? I see Aaron. Aaron, you've been super active on the Discord, which is great. Welcome. We got Harpy here. Found Harpy. Yo, what's up?
All right. Goal for the first track here is I'm on page 2, which I don't love, so we need to get to page 1. So I think if I can just race, if you click on someone's name, it'll turn yellow. That's kind of who you're racing against. So if I can beat Unreal Makas, I can get to page 1. I have a 1:12.05, and what do they have? A 1:11.6. Half second. You guys, does all the audio levels sound okay? If not, let me know. All right, now I gotta focus.
112. That's just ridiculous.
This track's
I was
hard to
pumped
go
when I
fast
beat
on.
Birdshaw. I was pumped when I beat Birdshaw with a 119.
Warm up. Haven't been playing in the, I don't know, since yesterday.
If you weren't warming up, would you restart if you're down half a second at the first split, or would you keep rolling and see if you could make it back?
I might keep rolling. But second split, yeah, second split's like a minute or a second. That's not great.
What up, Ted? Welcome.
Did I hit this line today? Nope. It's alright. We'll make it to the bottom just as a warm-up lap. Got a new mic and a new bunch of stuff, so I'm hoping everything is working okay.
It's kind of like the preseason for us, though. You know, it's an opportunity to work it out if something goes wrong. It's all good.
Exactly. All right, first lap. Okay, let's just have some fun on this now. All right, little warm-up lap. Let's get serious.
All right, let's go.
If you guys have questions, let us know. We're here to tell you whatever you want to know. There's no secrets.
Great. Thanks, Taylor. Mike sounding good, Joe.
Nice. Man, 8/10. I had a fast first split. I gotta figure out what I'm
Pretty
doing
slow
wrong here. Need to get smoother in the corners. I like to kind of like. That's bad. Yeah, I'm not good at like. I wonder if I should try changing up my sticks one of these days.
I've talked to Zach Ted about LLM usage. I mean, you know, like most devs, I think he's got a sidekick that he uses for some things, but really the majority of the LLM usage that we use is for like business side of things and management and just trying to make things easier, not for coding or games or creating art or stuff like that. So a little bit, but not too much.
It's terrible. Saw someone say my warm-up is like 5 seconds faster than their best.
Yeah.
It's okay. I probably have 10 times as many hours on this as you, probably more. Most days I probably spend, I don't know, 3 hours playing at least. And it's been 3 or 4 months now.
Hey, Joe, when we were playing the other night, you were telling me how you used the left stick to get a little bit more air at some point tonight. And you just screwed up, so maybe.
Yeah, like right here, left stick.
Yeah.
So the
Like
you guys can see
explain the timing of it.
Yeah, you guys can see my controller. It's kind of hard to see the sticks on the overlay I have, but it's kind of the left stick kind of does the opposite, or it's delayed of the right stick. So the right stick is down and up, and the left stick is also down and up. But I start it when the right stick is in the up position. If that makes sense. So once I go to
Yeah.
the up position on the right stick, then I go down and up on the left stick, especially right here, because then it gives you a bigger bunny hop. It's kind of like in real life, because in real life, you know, you kind of pull the bars up and like forward motion. So you're kind of doing the same
Yeah.
thing. You know, so if I don't do it here, like here you go, here's the difference. And I hop in the same spot right next to the second thing. Here's without doing it. And then here's doing it. So I'm kind of landing in the same place. But for the rock jump,
It makes a difference on the rock jump
it
for
definitely
sure.
makes a difference on the jump over here where you try to clear the rock. Also, sometimes you guys want to jump before the lip. Like right here, I jump now. I'm not waiting till the top of the lip. Jump now before the rock. This isn't too bad. But like this one right here, I pull back because you really want to clear, and then you tuck in the air to clear that rock. This spot I don't usually
I've cleared that
jump on.
rock like 3 times total. That's
And then
it.
these turns, I try to stay on the ground and just try to do them smooth. Like I used to jump into them, but it doesn't work as well. Want to jump early there and not hit the tree.
Yes, Aaron. Joe and I were just talking about Maggie yesterday, I think it was, and how we would like to have her come on, you know, either on a stream like this or in some other way get her involved for sure. She's super chill. I think it might be the type of thing that would be a first for her, I would guess. So we really want to see it happen, and we'll talk to her about it for sure. She's awesome, by the way. She's so cool.
What was Aaron's question?
Aaron asked if folks would ever get to meet Maggie and get some insight on how she does art for the game. That's exactly what you and I were talking about.
Yeah, and I know Zach, he's the programmer. I know he wants to live stream some programming stuff. So yeah, I'd love for Maggie to live stream some art, you know, stuff like that. That's really the whole point of this Patreon, is kind of to develop in the open. And I think it'd be fun if we were kind of teaching people along the way, like how does she do her art stuff, and how does Zach program things. And you know, the more people out there that know these things, the more cool games we'll get in the future. So it's like, why hide it? It seems silly. If you go off the side of these jumps, you can stay lower. It's kind of cheesy. I think in the future we'll put the track markers at the top, so you kind of have to hit it and scrub instead. I think scrubbing looks cooler.
Yeah, Ted, we'll make sure we get Zach on. Also an awesome guy. He's actually French. He lives in Sweden now, but he's a French guy. Very, very cool. Joe's feeling about Ghost Cub is not during races. Like if you're practicing or whatever, you might be able to race your own Ghost, but he likes the suspense that builds when you are racing. If you don't see the Ghost and you're kind of waiting for the split to come around. So I think not in racing, but in practice we might see it.
Yeah, and I think you'll be able to watch. Like you could go to the leaderboard ideally, and you could be able to pick any time to watch. So you could watch a replay, and it would go into like a replay mode where you could pick the view and then you know, fast forward, rewind, kind of slow it down, and kind of look at their lines. And then I think in a practice mode you could race the Ghost. I don't think I want to do it in race mode. I just love the suspense, and I think it's exciting. And if you have the Ghost there the whole time, you just don't have that suspense. You always know if you're up or down. You're gonna end up restarting way more. You know, as soon as the Ghost passes you, you probably restart. And I don't know. When I watch the live broadcasts of, you know, UCI downhill and stuff, I think the fun of it is like hearing the commentators waiting for the next split, and then they hit it, and they're like, "Oh, he's up by 5-10," you know, and he's like freaking out. And I just love that feeling, and I like to keep that in the game.
Welcome, Joey. Nice to see you here.
This is not going to be a good day for me, I guess.
You're under the weather, brother.
That too.
Nobody can be perfect every day.
Plus, the time I have on here for me is a pretty good time.
It's funny, we're talking about getting the, you know, programmer and artist on here to talk about that, and it got me thinking a little bit about game design. And then I got to thinking about that time, Joe, we were in Colorado. The first time you kind of drew up a mountain bike game for mobile in the dirt. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
We were hiking. We were like looking for inspiration, thinking about a mountain biking game, and you had this idea, and literally pulled out a stick, and we cleared out a space in some dirt, and you drew it up, and we took photos of it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I wonder if we still have photos of that somewhere.
Probably. I still have that whole document of that whole game design.
That's a good idea.
What was it called?
It wasn't just Mad Skills Mountain Bike?
Yeah, maybe it was.
I don't remember. I think it was. It was a cool concept, though.
That was a mobile game. It's meant to be a side scroller with lanes. It's definitely different than this.
Not sure if everyone in the chat knows that we are also part of a company called Turborilla. I don't work there day to day anymore, and Joe does a little bit. Both on the ownership team there still, but we make mobile games, Mad Skills Motocross, Mad Skills BMX, stuff like that. So that's the way we were making games for a long time.
I love the sound of the tires on the ground. I think the sound design is chef's kiss. Nice, thank you. Funny, actually, I just went online and searched probably for like half a day to find good sounds that I thought sounded realistic, and I found some pack somewhere that was like $60 and had really good audio. And this was all after I tried recording my own bike sounds, which didn't go very well. Yeah, found these. I think we still have a ways to go. Michel, I think that's how you say his name. The guy who does that parkour game.
Yep.
He does amazing sound design. So I told him once we kind of do another pass on the audio here, I'd love to get his feedback and get some tips from him, because he did it amazing. I heard him talking about they were doing the sound design for his parkour game, and they wanted like the sound of the clothing moving when you're doing tricks. And I guess his wife had the idea of taking like a leather sleeve and stuffing a teddy bear in it and just throwing it around and recording the sound of like the leather and the teddy bear hitting stuff. And that's what they used. So I thought that was cool.
Wow. That's very cool.
And
I wonder what they recorded that with.
I know.
Just
I
like
need to ask him.
Yeah.
And then he also said for like sounds of sliding down poles in that game, they were just like in the middle of the night outside by some pole, like rubbing a pole, and he said it looked very suspicious, but I thought that was funny. I definitely want to have different tire sounds for different materials too. Like dirt should sound different than grass and gravel and loam and all those things. So at some point we're gonna have to add more audio sounds. Man, second up. That's just terrible. It's also hard when I'm talking a lot.
Looks fast to me.
This part right here is the hardest part for me, with that damn tree.
Can you go to the right of that tree and still stay within the markers? You can, right?
Good, yeah.
I think I saw that on Trail's first run that he posted, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I know Tails does a little. He hits that more left line. I find it to be inconsistent for me. Let's see. This feels a little faster.
That's good.
Alright, it's time to be made up here.
There you go. Yep, you're good.
I'm going to take the easy line. Guys, the other thing you got to remember, or know if you don't know already. Oof, that was close. Man, I lost a lot of time there. You got to jump around a lot, because in this game, that's bad. You're a little faster in the air than you are on the ground. The ground has friction, the air doesn't. We did that on purpose, actually, because it's really fun to jump around and play around. So that's why you see me jumping a lot. It's because I'm trying to go faster. We had a discussion with some of you guys who've been playing if we should nerf it or not, but I think we decided to keep it for now, at least. Oh, no. What does this say? On each track, there's just one tree that always seems to be the worst spot. I know, and I think they do that. We do that on purpose, but it's annoying. I'm hoping that we can get like a denser forest, especially in some sections. Like there's trails I used to ride back in Illinois, and there was like this canopy of trees in this one section you just rode through. I really want some stuff like that. We got to see performance-wise if we can make it happen.
Joe, are some of the trees placed manually and some of the trees procedurally placed, or are they all, like, how does that work?
I think Maggie would have to ask, or I'd have to ask her, but I think what happens is like Cedric placed some that he wanted specifically like up next to the trail, and then I think Maggie takes a brush in Unity, like a tree brush, and it just like randomly kind of stamps trees around wherever she paints with the brush.
Okay.
So I think that's what's happening, but I could be wrong. Ooh. There is a pump mechanic. It's kind of hard to know like when it's working and when it's not, but it wasn't even like put in manually. It was just Zach said it was kind of a natural occurrence of the physics model. So in curves, in berms, and like in transitions, if you go down on the right stick, it's supposed to speed you up a little bit. So I'm also trying to do that all the time, but I'm not as good at it as some people. I think I went too short. Yep.
Yep.
This is terrible. I like how the tires seem to bite in the corners more than other. Yeah, that was kind of the main. And we're gonna change it a little bit. I think Zach's coming back soon from vacation, and he's gonna do a pass on the physics. And one of the things we want to do is get a little bit more slippage in corners, especially at high speeds, to make braking a little more important, especially braking before the corner. And if you brake in the corner, I'm hoping then we can make it even slipperier. So it kind of teaches you like you need to brake before the corner, like you would in real life. But I think it's a little too Velcro-y at times right now, but it does feel fun. But that was one of the main differences really between Cranked and other games out there, is that ours is a lot more planted and grounded. I don't know, I've been riding bikes a long time, and for the most part, unless I'm on like gravel or something crazy slippery, you know, if I'm on like hard packed dirt or even like a rock slab or something, I mean, the amount of grip you have on a modern bike these days is crazy. And some of the other games out there just feel unrealistically slippery. So that was one big thing we wanted to change. I don't think I'm gonna get a fast time on this one.
Welcome, Kung Fu Punch. Joey asks if we've come across any unintended bugs or features that we intend to keep for fun so far.
It's a good question. I think there have been some, but I need to remember what they are. This is
well,
one
I mean,
this is one that we haven't fixed right here, which I think is funny.
Well, you said the jumping, the sort of acceleration from jumping was intentional, though, right?
Yes.
That wasn't emergent? Okay.
Well, it might have been emergent, and then once we realized that it was happening, we had a discussion of like, do we keep this or do we fix it? And then we decided to keep it because we thought it was fun kind of jumping around.
What I will say, Kung Fu, is that when we were making Mad Skills, I mean, that game was so emergent, it was unbelievable. Right from the very beginning, Mad Skills 1 on, you know, you make it one way and then people figure out how to ride in a different way, and it's not stuff that we had intended, but I think it speaks to the depth of physics when new capabilities emerge that make the game better. It's pretty cool.
Man,
like those wheelie scrubs in Mad Skills, Joe.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
emergent.
Why am I losing half a second? Oh, this is a different guy. It's not my own time. So I wonder, I'm going to go play my own time for a little bit because I want to see.
Welcome, Edwin.
We'll see if I'm really bad compared to my own time.
We would like to, Edwin.
What do you ask?
He just asked if we have any plans to add official UCI courses. We'd like to. We just really haven't gotten that far yet. Pretty much anything. We're focusing almost exclusively on physics and whatever art we need to really test the physics and dial them in. We'd like to, though. You know, we've done a lot of that stuff in the past. We had Red Bull straight rhythm races in Mad Skills, and we did some replicas in our snowcross game, our mobile snowcross game as well. So we always like doing that type of a thing. The thing is before we were always doing side-scrolling games, so unless it was Red Bull straight rhythm, we were kind of doing a version of real tracks. But in this game, we could do actual replicas. So we would love to. We just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, I mean, my goal, well, a dream, I should say, not a goal. Like, I'd love to be like the official game of UCI, like a partnership, and have a replica World Series in the game along with them, and have replica tracks. I think that'd be amazing. I think we got a long way to get there, and it would probably be hard to make those kind of tracks and make them accurate. I don't know if it's possible to like laser scan that kind of stuff or not. But yeah, I love the idea of it. And it's definitely on our radar, something we're thinking about. So if any of you guys know anyone at UCI, hook it up. But, you know, the plan or like the vision of Cranked is really to try to make it feel as close to real mountain biking as possible while still leaving it accessible and, you know, easy to pick up. I just feel like there aren't many games or really any that capture what real mountain biking really is. Like when I go ride When I go ride, it's, you know, I'm not hitting massive jumps and huge gaps and all those kind of things. You know, on single path trails, hitting rocks and roots and like doing it through the forest. And, you know, I feel like most of the game's kind of focused on the big, crazy, fancy looking stuff and big jumps and big tricks. And I want to focus more on real, everyday kind of riding.
Look at that, jeez.
I mean, this is a little better. My first split was good.
I'd be freaking out if I was having a run like this right now. That's for sure. I'd be losing it. Man.
Need to work on wheelies. I want to be able to land in a manual at high speed. I don't know if we should. Maybe that's cheesy, but I think it'd be fun. That's a fail.
Folks watching right now, I'd like to know what your best time on this track is, if you know it off the top of your head, or if you're able to check it out.
Someone's asking if we've been to Whistler. I've never been, but I'm hoping we can go next year for Crankworks, which is about a year from now, and have a booth with the game and let people play the game. Ride Whistler for the first time in my life and hopefully not break something. Last time I was at a bike park, downhill bike park, I broke both my wrists, so you know, got bad history.
I remember that.
This feels decent. Oh, I just lost like all ability to turn there for some reason.
Yeah.
If you guys want me to switch up to a different track for a bit, you just tell me when and I will do it.
Hey Joey, just an FYI, I literally played this on my 2023 or 2022 MacBook Pro, basic MacBook Pro. I just turned the graphics down to low. It's not as pretty, but it runs really well. So if you have any type of a laptop, you would be able to play this on low and be okay.
I feel like I'm losing bad speed.
All right, Found Harpy. That's faster than I am. That's fast.
Chase Cub saying he likes the amount of grip in the berms, feels good. Nice. I do want, we want to add shrouping, like where, you know, you can do that little kick out in a berm. So we're trying to figure out the best way to incorporate that, but I want to do that to where you can just kind of get in a berm and for fun just like do a little shroud.
Okay, Edwin, I'm gonna try it on medium then. I'm gonna see if I can get it to work on medium. Playing on low is a risky thing because trees just appear right in front of you. You don't see anything in the next, if you're trying to bomb a hill or whatever.
You could put it, Brian, you could try low. Let me show you the settings. You could try low quality, and then the LOD bias is how far stuff loads in. So you could try to turn the LOD bias. I think that's what it is. Yeah, see, because if you go to low, it goes to 0.3.
Okay.
If you just do low and turn this up a little, it'll change it. Yeah, it looks real bad if you look down here, but it makes it run really good.
Gotcha.
Also turning off that stuff would probably help. Yeah, controller definitely. It does work on keyboard and mouse, but I don't recommend it. And I think if you're on a Mac, I think an Xbox controller works better. Don't ask me why, but I feel like the PlayStation 1 sometimes disconnect. Like for like a couple frames, it feels like it's disconnecting and then it makes it hard to play. I don't know if that's just my problem or if that's a thing, but...
Plus it's too small for my hands.
All right.
Did that happen again, Joe?
I don't know what's happening, but I'm just not doing great on that trail. So let's see. What am I... This one I'm 13th. I'm still really good on that one. 5th. 6th. Alright, so maybe I need to do shred. See if we can improve on shred. What feature are we talking about? Oh, the roosting? Yeah. Imagine quite the technical challenge. Yeah, I don't know. Zach somehow figures everything out. So, who knows? Maybe it'll be hard. Maybe it won't. I honestly didn't think... So the story of this game kind of was, originally we were developing it under Turbarilla. And I was put in charge of coming up with a couple prototypes. And the plan was to spend 6 weeks, basically 2 programmers for 6 weeks on the prototype, see if we could find the fun. 6 weeks to find the fun. If you can't find the fun within the 6 weeks, then the project gets canceled and you move on to something different. But it's important to find the fun quickly, otherwise you're just wasting money. So the first few prototypes was just all working on the physics, trying to make it feel fun. And I think there were some people at the company who, including, I don't know, didn't think we could find the fun in 6 weeks, and that's a very hard thing to do, especially with a game like this.
Yeah, it's tough to do.
I mean, I think within 3 weeks, we had something that was already like super addicting, and we were playing for like 6 hours a day, and we're like, okay, maybe there's something here. So we kept with it, and yeah, I mean, I think we ended up spending about 2 to 3 months on the prototype. And then we took the prototype, and we went to, what was that thing in Croatia? Reboot? Is that what it's called?
Reboot, yeah.
Yeah, I went to Reboot. That's like an indie game conference type thing in Croatia. Pitched it to a bunch of publishers, as well as pitching to some publishers online and other things. Spent probably 6 months or so just pitching and trying to get funding for the project. But we kept getting no's. They would say, "Oh, it's a fun game, but it's too niche and probably not big enough audience." Things like that, or it's not far enough along. We would like to see it further. These kind of things, right? So instead of canceling the project or whatever, we've kind of figured out a way to make it on our own. So we're self-funding it and using Patreon. So that's where you guys come in. So without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. But we were kind of sick of canceling all these games that publishers don't want to sign because we think they could be fun and they would, people will like them once they're done. So yeah, we're going to figure out a way to do it on our own. The more you guys support us, the bigger and better this game will be. That's kind of the plan. But yeah, it ended up getting transferred over. Obviously, it didn't stay with Turbarilla. Turbarilla, if you guys know or you don't know, free-to-play action sports games like BMX and motocross. But this will be a premium PC game, so we thought it made sense to kind of pull it out under a new company and kind of start fresh, less overhead. You do it cheaper this way, save some money.
And you're really made for this kind of a game more so than free-to-play, Joe. I mean, free-to-play was never the perfect fit for you.
No. I much prefer designing a game that's a premium game. Free-to-play, you gotta figure out ad placements and in-game economies and currencies and balancing things, and I'm not good at math, so...
That's one of the best jumps in the game right there. That's one of the best jumps that we have so far. Amazing. It's one of the funnest, coolest things so far, I think.
Oh, here we go. I'm concentrating. Brian, talk for a while.
All right, cool. So much for that. No, but it's been, I don't know, it's been really fun to just kind of make every decision about making mobile games is really hard. It's really hard. It's difficult to get any type of traction with a premium game. So you almost have to go free to play, especially if you're trying to support a sizable studio. And the only way you can make money in a free-to-play game is through ads or through in-app purchases. That's it. There's no other way, by definition. So it's tough. You have to make decisions sometimes that aren't necessarily based on the thing that you think is the most fun for the game, just to stay in business. It's a tough thing to do. I think Turbarilla has done a really good job of it, and I personally think Mad Skills Motocross especially is a peerless game. I think we did something on mobile devices that nobody else did. I'm proud of it. But it's refreshing from our standpoint to be working on a project where you basically just ask yourself, is this the best thing for the game? Is it the most fun? And that's what determines if it makes the game or not. It's pretty fun doing it that way.
Cheater line here, boys, girls. Go through the trees because we didn't put a checkpoint up there. All right, this might be a decent time. Can we get to the first page?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Ooh, I sent that thing deep.
Yeah, it's looking good so far.
The hardest part, I think, right here.
When we were in Colorado, we weren't riding. We were in Colorado. Joe and I were doing... Sometimes we would do work retreats. We were 2 Americans and a Swedish company. It was just the 2 of us in the States at the time.
come on.
and working alone. So we would sometimes get together and go on a retreat just so we would have, we would get some together time and so forth. So we did a trip to Colorado and just to kind of work nonstop for 4 days or something like that. But one of the other founders of Session Syndicate, Mike Fisher, who used to work with me at the motocross magazine Racer X, he does live in Colorado and rides mountain bikes there. He lives in Buena Vista, Colorado, actually.
Well, there's a new personal best. We're still not on the first page though.
Pretty good, Joe. Pretty fast.
A little bit more to go here. In a little bit, we're going to hop into the new map too. The new map doesn't have racing yet, so I kind of wanted to try to grind some race times. But after that, we'll hop into the new map and just kind of cruise around and show you guys some stuff if you haven't played the new map yet. But we did release the new map yesterday to the Patreon members. They've been having fun with it. Second behind. I can't wait to get proper bike and rider model and animations in the game. This dude pedaling at like 400 miles an hour and being mostly looking like he's seated drives me crazy.
Edwin, I see your question. We don't have an official release date at this point. We're not sure. To predict something like that at this point in the game would be very difficult, and we're trying to do nothing that's bullshit. And I think a false prediction like that would probably be considered kind of bullshit at this point for a team our size. So we're just not going to do it. We don't know. We're going to be as efficient as we can and not compromise our principles and make the best game that we possibly can and get it out as soon as we can, basically. One of the ways we can speed things up is by not falling into stupid traps, by not compromising what we've set out to do, not just making dumb mistakes. So if we can avoid that, we'll be faster. If we make dumb mistakes, that could slow us down.
I give you some estimates, but like I think we'd be doing well and kind of lucky if this thing releases in early access a year from now. It's kind of like a goal we have, but it also depends on how things are going. Like if the Patreon is kicking and it's making more than we expect it'll make, then maybe that allows us to do a little bit more, maybe make the game a little bit bigger, take a little more time. But if things aren't kicking and money's a little tighter, things will probably be a little smaller. So, a lot of things at play to kind of figure out where this thing goes. But yeah, I think at least a year from now to get to early access.
Well, Aaron, I would say give us more ideas like your cafe idea. Joe and I were talking about that before the stream started tonight. Aaron asked us if there's anything that they can do other than supporting on the Patreon and spreading the word and, play and tell us what you like and what you don't like and be honest with us at all times. That's probably as important as anything else, actually. So, yeah, keep the ideas coming. That's big.
Yeah,
we have a vision. Joe has a vision, and we have an idea what we do, and we're trying to be smart about it and stick to it. But at the same time, this is an open-minded effort, and we want to understand how people are feeling and what they want, and try to do a game that everybody's going to love. Well, most people are going to love. Can't please everyone.
This is horrible, but I'm sticking with it. No, I'm not. Oh boy. Don't think I'll make this. What was I going to say? Something related to what you guys were talking about? Oh, I think spreading the word is super important too. Obviously, the more you guys talk about it, post about it, share, share videos, mention us in comments, and all that kind of stuff helps a lot.
One thing I've been seeing more is, it's pretty common on our post on TikTok and Instagram that other games get mentioned, which is natural and good, I think. We're starting to see Cranked get mentioned on posts about other games as well, and I think that's cool. It kind of spreads awareness and lets people know we're here.
Meh.
I think it's my favorite too, Edwin, the new tech trail. It's going to be fun when we can race it properly.
Ooh, here we go. Feels fast. Going deep. Very fast. Nope. Nope. Don't do that. That was bad. See if we can pull it together
Is that
here.
enough? It wasn't catastrophic, I don't think.
See right here.
Nice.
Mm.
You want to get over that, though, don't you? Yeah.
Gotta fix that glitch with the sun going through stuff. Hey, there's a tree there. It's like I thought I would be the fastest at this game for a while, and after we released the first prototype build to the public, well, to the Patreon, I think within hours I was already not the fastest, so that's disappointing. But hey, should have known I'm old now. Can't hang. Might be able to make it up right here. Can hit this without letting off.
Oh, cool, Harpy. That's good. I haven't been able to play Mavericks yet. I don't have a machine that can run it, but I'm looking forward to trying it at some point.
Ooh. That might be a better line, actually.
Whoa. Yeah, it might be. Huh. This is fast, I think, Joe. Look at this. Oof.
I think it'll be 2 seconds or more back. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
I think there's a different line in here that I've never tried. Into the tree. Tried that one before. I was looking at Mavericks once and seeing to capture the mountain bike feel. Okay, so both you guys found us from a comment in a Mavericks video or something. Interesting. Yeah, I think Mavericks and Cranked will end up quite different from each other. In the end, and probably cater to different people. But I think it's cool.
Which, like you say, Joe, is
more games.
Exactly. Like anybody can find the game that's the one that they want to play, which is really what it's all about. So.
Woo. Third person will be nice to have. I don't think I'll use it a ton. I think I'll use it when I'm free roaming and kind of just having fun goofing off. But when I'm racing, I think first person is going to be the meta because there's a ringing in my gut.
Good Lord.
Did you guys hear that? I hope not. Hopefully it's not Laura eating something. I don't think so. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I kind of want to try this line of like hitting that dip right there.
Yeah, you're almost hitting the side of it.
Yeah. Dinner's ready. Probably is, actually. I didn't eat. We were going to eat before this and didn't work out, so I'll eat late tonight.
Yeah, I agree, Joey. I think so. I think the goals are different and our approaches and philosophies are quite different. I agree. Which should result in two very different games, which is best for fans. Something for everybody.
This last split is fast. I don't know if it's enough, but this is fast. I think, yeah. See, I took off, what?
Damn.
Half a second or more? The end there? Not bad. Let me just look at chat real quick. Yeah, I wanted something one of the things I've said, a lot of people have compared us to MX bikes, and I like MX bikes a lot. I wish it was easier to play and didn't take me a week to learn how to go around the track once. But um, I've said to the team, like, I would like this to feel like if someone picks up the controller, it kind of feels similar to if you were like a god MX bikes player. So kind of trying to make it feel somewhat similar, but not with the crazy hard learning curve. So that's kind of one of our goals, but in general, it just needs to feel responsive and kind of do what you want. If there's delays or it's clunky or you're waiting for animations or something, that's when it feels like you're fighting the game and you're not connected to the game, when I think it should feel like you're directly connected to these sticks and it just does exactly what you tell it to do. Uh-oh. Whoops. Sorry. I sniffled. I have a cold, and I keep trying to not sniffle unless I mute. I keep forgetting. If you guys want to see me on the hardest track, that's probably the track I'm the best at. We could hop on there in a bit if you guys want.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, we've talked about this a decent amount too. There's like realism as far as controls and realism as far as the way you actually, the way you control the bike. But like Joe always says, you can't do that with a controller because it's a very different thing. But then there's also realism in the way it feels. And I think they're different. And I think what people are really looking for most of the time is to experience realism in the way that it feels. I think. Anyway, that's what we're going for.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
I have a lot of opinions on simulators. So everyone, like, there's been people in the comments kind of like, some people kind of being a little rude, if I must admit, saying like, how dare you call this, this is nowhere near, first of all, I've never called it a simulator. But I think in one of the videos I said, testers have referred to this that feels similar to MX bikes. And one guy got mad at me saying, you can't call your game as compared to a simulator. Your physics are trash or whatever. But there can be a game called Pressure Washer Simulator that's very arcadey, and you just go around pressure washing things, and no one says, well, these aren't perfect water physics, so how can you call this a pressure washing simulator if you're not perfectly simulating the way water works? I don't think you need to be perfectly simulating every detail of a bicycle to call it a simulator. Like, we're simulating what it's like to ride a mountain bike and what it's like the sport of mountain biking just as much as any other simulator. I think the only racing simulators that I think are true simulators are the ones that have input devices that match the real world. Thought I could save that. So, a car racing simulator works because you have pedals, you have a shifter, you can get a wheel, and all the inputs are the exact same inputs. Some of them are literally the exact same steering wheel that you could buy and put in a race car. So that makes it a lot easier to make a simulator, but you can't really simulate everything you do on a bicycle with this, like, especially with your body, everything you do on a bicycle, there's so many things. So until someone makes a bicycle controller simulation thing, I don't think making like a one-to-one physics simulation is our goal. And honestly, as much as I love MX bikes, I think it was easier for me to learn to ride a real dirt bike than it was for me to learn to ride a bike in MX bikes.
But I will tell you this, and this is somebody who worked in motocross for 20 years and who made Mad Skills motocross for almost that long. The physics of MX bikes just absolutely boggle my mind. When I see, I haven't played it, but when I see skilled players playing that game, it blows my mind. I mean, they have nailed dirt bike physics. Yeah. That is for sure.
Oh yeah. None of that was me being negative on MX bikes. I love MX bikes.
Oh, I know. Of course, I know. You've told me that a million times.
Yeah. I wish it was a little easier for my friends, or they had like assist modes, because I always want to get on there with my friends, and most of them rage quit within 2 laps because they can't play it. That's cutting it close. Man, that felt fast.
That's a good point, Cub. That's a good way to put it, Cub.
What do you say?
He said so much of mountain bike, I would say this is any type of riding really, is subconscious. It's like you're not really
Yeah.
thinking about what you're doing so much as feeling your way through it. So I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, and that's why,
Um,
you know, when we were talking to Zach about these physics, a lot of the stuff, like we're simulating a lot of that subconscious things, and we're doing it for the player, and then they don't have to think about it. Just like you don't have to think about it in real life. You know, kind of like the things you do with your legs to try to keep the bike stable and on the ground. Like he kind of programmed in some suspension physics that make it so that the bike sticks to the ground better, because that's what you do in real life. You're using your legs as an additional suspension, you know, to go over rocks and pump over things and jump over things. And, you know, so we're kind of assisting and helping the player do things so that you don't have to try to control every little detail on the bike in the game. It's all about just the fun, you know, the fun of flowing. And oh, that rock slowed me, but let's keep it.
So Joe, thinking about the 3 months or so after Swedish vacation, and for any of you all who don't understand Swedish vacation, Joe and I understand it very well. Sweden essentially shuts down for July, part of August, part of June too. Honestly, I think they have a really good. They put a lot of importance on work-life balance in Sweden for sure, and they definitely take some time off in the summer. No wonder too, because it's the frigid north there, and then they want to spend a little bit of time outside with the beautiful weather and the mosquitoes for a while.
Yeah, the 6 weeks of decent weather they get, they just decide to all not work. So
yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
So when everyone's back, Joe, paint the next 3 months. If things go well, what do the next 3 months look like to you?
If, you know, things go the way I want them to go, the next 3 months we would have a proper bike model. This is a placeholder asset that we found, because why waste time building a bike to test the bike if you don't even know if you can make fun bike physics? So you just go on the internet, you find a design that already exists, and you throw it in the game, and off to the races. So I want to get a proper bike model, ideally based off of a real brand. So we're trying to get a hold of some brands to get something cool in here. And then a proper rider model. And once those are done, then we can start animating them. Like, you know, the suspension isn't moving, so we need to like get things like that moving. The brake levers when you're hitting the brakes. And all that kind of stuff. And then when all that stuff is done, then that's when we can start enabling different camera modes, like third person, more camera settings to tweak the camera. You know, you don't want to have third person if your bike and rider and all your animations look super janky. And spoiler, these guys, it looks janky. So that's part of the reason we're not showing third person yet. It's not ready for prime time. So 3 months, I would love to have all of that stuff done, plus a lot of progress on the new map. Cedric, as you see, he's been working on it maybe 2 weeks, and he's already got a few trails in there. So after 3 months, I'm hoping there's probably a dozen or so trails, maybe a quarter of the trails on the map is completed within 3 months, and probably some of the challenge system, like the bare bones challenge system. Like each track will have 3 race goal times to beat. There obviously will always be the leaderboard, so if you want to hop on the leaderboards, you can do that, but we're going to set kind of 3-time goals for you to beat. If you beat those 3, you'll earn XP. So all of that stuff I'd like to see in the next 3 months, but especially the bike and the rider.
If anybody ever wants to know where Joe is from originally, just ask him to say challenge, and you'll know he's from Chicago. Challenge. It's the most Chicago thing you say, dude, for sure. Without question.
I say challenge different at all.
Oh, you say challenge. Of course you do.
Challenge?
Challenge.
What else is in the works? Oh, physics. A lot of physics tweaks. Zach's going to do another pass on physics probably as soon as he gets back. So that'll be things like adding a little bit of slip in high-speed corners. See how that feels. All this stuff's subject to change, and if we don't like it in testing, then we won't leave it. But like a little bit of traction slip at high speeds in corners, the shrouping thing. What else were we going to do? Wheelie physics need to be fixed a little bit. Whip physics, and kind of the difference between a whip and a spin. People want to do spins, and there's, you know, so we've got some things to figure out in that world. This is not good, guys.
Nope.
I had a good time though. Instead, I need to scrub that.
I'm gonna brag on you and Zach a little bit to the crew here. I'm just so impressed with how effective you guys communicate about what you're trying to make this game do. Um, Guys, the way that Joe oftentimes describes something, like he has something in his head, he knows what he wants to do. Joe's not a programmer, so he's got to translate this to a programmer. Fortunately, he's got a lot of experience at that, and he's learned how to do that, and he has a rapport with Zach as well. But Joe will come in with a video sometimes, oftentimes actually, and he's just so good at describing what it is that he's looking for. And Zach is so open-minded and listens so well and communicates with Joe back so well that I don't know. I just think it's a thing of beauty, and it seems like every time you guys have one of those conversations, something comes out of the other end a little bit better than it was before. I really think that's great, and it's a part of the reason why this is working pretty well so far.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we talk a lot about Zach, but there's also a guy named Elias, and he also helped make the prototype. He's on a different project right now, but hoping in the future that he'll be able to come back and help us work on this again too, because he is also amazing. He was
so
actually
too.
the one
Yeah,
that
he's
originally
great.
started the prototype, so he was the first programmer to work on it at all.
Seriously, everybody involved in this effort is a genuinely awesome human being. You know, it's funny that you think about the crew who's working on the dev day to day, and then the crew on the ownership team. They're just some of the best people I've ever known and worked with.
Yep.
So stoked about it. It's awesome. This is fun work.
It is. It's back to work being fun again, which is nice. Makes work a lot easier too when you enjoy your job and you're excited to go to work every day.
Yeah.
And what makes it even better is when you start seeing all of you guys talking about it, being psyched on it, playing it, the reaction we've got. I mean, we're already up to, today we hit our new milestone on Patreon. We're now up to $3,000 in membership revenue per month, which is a big milestone for us. We weren't sure what to expect with Patreon, but so far things are going pretty well. So thank you to all of you guys.
Anything that comes in from Patreon also doesn't impact how much we're digging into our pockets to pay for this thing. It just means that we can do more. So anything that comes in will go right back into development, and we'll try to speed things up or do a little bit more, basically.
All right. Can I rip the last section and get back 7 tenths? Nope. Sure can't. Yeah, it's crazy too, because, you know, I've been thinking about this game, and in my head I can see what it looks like when it's done, and it's just the fun part for me is like living through it and seeing it come to life and seeing where it's going to end up compared to the vision in my head. You know, never ends up exactly how you picture it, but honestly, I think so far it's ended up better than I was picturing it, especially in terms of the way it feels and how quickly we got there. Yeah, to me that's just so much fun. It's just kind of every day picking off a little more and progressing and seeing where it ends up. I should show you guys at some point. I'm going to show you guys the very first prototype build because it was ghetto.
How do you guys feel about the Cranked logo? Let us know if you like it, if you think it looks good, if you think it fits what we're trying to do. You may have to wait until you can see it on one of the trackside banners.
Is it on any of the...
Yeah, I just saw it a minute ago.
Oh, okay.
That's what made me think of it.
This jump right here, though.
We still need to come up with a logo for Session Syndicate, the company, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fish is on that. He'll have that done in a week or so, I think.
This part's so sketchy at full speed. Oh, no. All right. You guys want a new... Let's go rip it on... Oh, wait. I forgot there's a new track on 6th. What would you guys rather see? Livsvilja? I don't know how to say that. It's Swedish. Or Cat Lagraten? You guys tell me, and we will play that one. I will wait. Well, I'll start this one. It's basically just the starts that are different. So here you go. Get a little preview. This is
We have Swedish names for the track so far, but all the tracks are not going to be Swedish names going forward.
No, there probably won't be any. Maybe a couple, but probably not.
And if you don't know what a fika break is in Swedish culture, that is like a coffee break that you have in the middle of the day. Typically, not just at work, anywhere, but even in work settings. Usually, the company gets together and is very social and hangs out and has a cup of coffee and some sweets or whatever. Different people in the company are responsible for bringing in treats on given days, that type of thing. It's pretty cool.
I'm the best at this track out of all of them, just because I've played it the most. I think it's the most fun. It's the most technical. It's the craziest. That's going to be a miss.
Nope.
I also think it's the one I'm the best at. Did I already say that? Keep saying that. I'm trying to brag about my skills. And there's so many little fun cheater lines, like lines that the community's just figured out on this map, which I think makes it really fun.
The call is for Cat. Aaron and Harpy both asked for Cat, and Harpy's interested in seeing how you do the log bridge on Cat.
Nice. All right, let's session this for a bit. That was bad. I like to land right here. If you can land like in this shadow right here, and then you hit this, it flows really well. I usually jump this corner, hit the brakes a tiny bit right there. See, if you don't hit the brakes there, you can't really get that corner onto the rock well. Is that thunder? You don't get thunder in the desert often, so it scared me. Watch my power go out. Stream cuts off. Power went out, guys. Yeah, this first part of this track is definitely probably the hardest part of the track, as you can see. This is why you gotta have instant restarts. Look, if you got a racing game and you don't have instant restarts, you're wrong. Sorry. But one button pressed back to the top is the way to go.
Again, if you ever played Mad Skills Motocross, you know where this is coming from. That game is the master of the restart.
Yep. I'm gonna keep things rolling, even though this is a bad time, just to show you guys some of the lines, so we don't get too bored.
Is there anybody in the chat right now who has played Mad Skills Motocross before? I'm curious.
If you're going deep like that, land on the back tire, you'll save yourself a little bit. Pre-jump this. If you end up hitting left, you can wall ride it, which is kind of fun. I don't think it's faster that
really,
way, but
yeah.
It prevents you from crashing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is announce in the Discord that this was going on. I was going to do that.
I'll go do it, Joe.
Scrub that, and then you kind of hop out here, and you slam into the rock until your face is broken. Not terrible, but very slow compared to a fast run. I like to jump into that berm. Yeah, I kind of have I can slow this down. Let me slow this section down and show you what like kind of my line. Since you want to know about the log bridge. But usually what I do is when I'm aiming for this, you see how there's kind of like a bump right here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm usually
try to go off
aiming...
that to get a little more lift.
Why is this guy not reversing? Come on, there you go. I aim to the right of the bump, just a little bit. I'm usually hitting it like right here, and you jump early because there's a bump. I mean, you can see the angle right there. It's right by my front tire. So you're kind of jumping early, and then when I do jump, I kind of hit the stick to the left to try to like jump and go a little bit left, and then I feel like it sends you right on top of that wood platform.
All right.
Yeah, right there into that pocket.
Wow.
Ooh. Ooh, case that.
Are you keeping the front wheel up a bit in the front section, Joe?
Let me think about that.
Aaron wants to know.
Jake is scared.
While you think about it, I will be back in a moment. Because if you had one more good, fresh Pittsburgh beer, Joe, would you be drinking it right now?
Of course.
Of course. That's what I thought. Hold on one sec. Be back.
I don't know if I'm putting the... It's like so much muscle memory now. I need to think about it next time I run it. Like to hit the left there sometimes, because then if you go deep, you can kind of hit the side. This tree doesn't have a hitbox, so you don't need to worry about that. Then you want to jump that to there. This is my favorite part of the whole map. I think the sun looks so cool coming up right here. Just visually, I think it looks amazing. Maggie did a great job. Whoa, that is some loud thunder. Can you guys hear that? Uh-oh. Then right here's a cheater line. Slam on the brakes, come down here. Careful, don't go too fast because you will crash. And then I like to hit this line. This is where you can gain or lose a ton of speed. Kind of want to hit like this line right here. You aim like directly for the tunnel. Kind of straighten it out as much as you can. And then you're flying. You got to check your speed here, because if you're going 80, you're going to have to hit the brakes a little bit to hit this. And then I kind of just send this without jumping. Try to avoid those trees. And then this section's really tough, but you kind of want to hit this. And then as soon as this post comes, jump, and you can land right here. Jump over this rock. Oh, don't miss that. And then I like to slam on the brakes, come onto this, jump down. Try to clear that rock. Jump into this, and then right here you want to get playful and just start jumping on all these little bumps. That'll speed you up. You're kind of pumping and jumping, just having fun in here. I don't think this is going to be at best, especially when I cased right there. But there's all the lines. Just did your setup onto the log and are pretty much perfect. See, there you go. I nosedive all the time. Yeah. Oh, see, like that's the best start right there. That's about as fast as I can get on the start. Let's see if we can land this. Don't want to go too deep there. Oh, this is fast.
You're done.
All right. If the power goes out on a world record run here, that would be tragic. Guys, what do you think of the graphics? Like the you know, obviously this is, I think Maggie had maybe 2 weeks, 3 tops to like do this. I don't even think that. So a lot will be changed and like improved and you know, get better. But the vibe, what do you guys feel? No. How do you guys feel about the vibe? Like, is it too artsy and stylized? Is it not realistic enough? The reason we don't want to go super realistic is because I think if you go really hyper realistic, for one, it's going to be more demanding, then people are going to need stronger computers. But also I think it sends a message that this is like a hyper realistic simulator or something, when, you know, we're trying to simulate fun mountain biking and the feeling of mountain biking, but at the end of the day it's still kind of arcadey. You know, so I think kind of like a cozy, artsy style vibe is what I like, but I'm just curious, what do you guys think? Do you think we'd be better off if we went realistic or something else?
3 for 3 liking the style so far, so at least of this crew, looks like we're
Nice.
in good shape. Oh,
That was a fake tree.
I'd be curious to see what everybody was looking for when it comes to bike and rider style too. I know that's a tough question to answer without examples in front of you, but
All right, so far so good.
there's the crank logo. Damn.
Uh-oh, not good.
No
Not good.
way.
No, save it, come on. I don't know if I have speed.
No, you're done.
I think I'm screwed.
I think so too. Yep.
All right. I have so many little fun ideas too, but it's just stuff that like we would only be able to do if this game is making a ton of money. Not to like tell you guys to spend more money or anything, but like I have a very silly idea that I think would be very fun. and that would be customizable ragdoll. So, you know, in most games you can customize your rider and your bike and things like that. But I'd love to customize the ragdoll in a way that, like, if you crash, let's say, like, it could be confetti blows out of his head or something. Or, you know, what was the other idea I had? I just think some silly, like, he turns into a teddy bear and his arm rips off and then you just see, like, stuffing come out. Or, I don't know, name stupid animations that happen when you crash. I just think it'd be hilarious if, like, players could choose and unlock different silly kind of ragdoll crash animations.
Well, you also had an idea for sort of gamifying the ragdolls and making them more controllable, so you could actually manage how you ragdoll, right?
Yeah, and I think Skate did that. Maybe Skate 3, someone told me. I haven't played Skate games in a while. But yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun, because in real life, crashing and bailing is kind of a skill. You know, you gotta eject from the bike and kind of roll out of it and those kind of things. So I thought it'd be fun if kind of crashing was a skill. I mean, if you know, it's not like it matters if you're crashing, you could just restart. But if you want to kind of have fun with it, I think it would be just another element of fun.
So that rock face that's on your left when you do that jump right there, Joe, who put that in the game? Did Maggie put that in the game, or did Cedric put that in the game?
Man, this storm is crazy.
The one that you said you one you said you sometimes can ride the wall there if you get too close to it. Who put that in the game?
Cedric put it in the game, yeah. So Cedric
did,
put all this stuff in, and then what happened is Maggie came in and replaced everything, because the stuff Cedric was using was mostly just like straight up Unity stuff, and it didn't it didn't have the style to it. So Cedric kind of put everything in there, and then Maggie came through and made it look nice. So she replaced all of his rocks with different rocks and different trees and things like that. But yeah, eventually too,
So,
Aaron, I think you were talking about how you kind of want the place to feel live, and I do too. So we were talking, like, if you're on a race run, I would like to have spectators along the sidelines. I'd like to have, you know, the officials blowing whistles when you pass them. People with, you know, they bring the chainsaws to the races with no chain on it, and they kind of rev it up. Cowbells, all these kind of things that you see at a real event. I'd love to have that in the game, so when you're doing a race run, it feels real. It doesn't just feel like you're kind of out here all alone. But also people just hanging out, like you said, like, you know, if you go to a trailhead or something, there should just be people kind of sitting there getting ready to go for the ride, you know, eating a banana or whatever. I think all that would make the game feel live and more cozy and cool.
did you get that climbing game we were talking about earlier today, Joe? What was that game called again?
Peak? I haven't yet, but Taylor in here
Peak.
says he's been playing it, and I'm still a little upset that he didn't invite me to play, but that's fine, Taylor. I see how it is. You know, your best climbing buddy you didn't want to play a climbing game with? Okay. But yeah, I want to play it. Looks interesting.
Like 3 of the biggest Trackmania players on Twitch were also playing Peak. That really was interesting to me.
Alright, see if we can throw together a run. On that jump there, that rock jump, you kind of need to aim it more left than you think, because it kind of shoots you right. And I like to pre-hop this, come down here, hit this corner as much as you can, jump on that. I try to scrub this to stay low. Do the cheater line, try not to hit that bump.
Yep.
Oh, that was fast, but I screwed it up. If you guys, I'll show you guys an easy line too. I don't think you can make it as fast, but you can still do it decently fast. So here's an easier line if you guys are having trouble at the start. Do all this stuff the same, and then just go down here, and you can just like skirt all this and just do that. So if you're struggling there and you still want to do the rest and the start's getting annoying, do that. I don't think it's a ton slower, and it makes it a lot easier. Like that. That's what you want to do and not miss the checkpoint. It's been an hour on this map, so I'm going to try to get one more good run in here, and then we'll switch to the new map, and we'll go do some free ride lines on the new map. Show you guys what we're working with.
So, Joe, Joey Kyber says something we've seen a lot on social media, which is he thinks going for something like Firewall would be perfect.
Yeah, and
We-
that's kind of been our main inspiration for these graphics. It was Firewatch and Valheim. I've never played Valheim, but I've obviously seen a lot of images and videos. But those two games are kind of what we were basing this off of. So we have seen a lot of comments, people saying it looks like, you know, Firewatch and kind of cozy. I think we should you know, because even our CEO Tobias asked the other day, he's, you know, wondering like, are we going too cartoony? But you know, I've seen so many comments of people saying they like the cozy feel, they like the Firewatch feel. So I think kind of owning that and like taking it a little further is probably the way to go. I also think if you try to skirt in between like realistic and stylized and you kind of look like you just don't have an identity and it's somewhere weird in the middle, you don't want to do that either. So, you know, at the same time, we need the bike and the rider to look somewhat realistic. They can't be too crazy because we do want to get branded items in here, you know, and I don't want to go to a bike brand and them say, oh, well, your game is way too cartoony. Like, we don't want our bike in your game. So lots of things to think about. But the thing is, no matter what art style you go with, you will never please everybody. I had a crazy idea last night. I don't know if I told you this crazy idea yet, Brian, but at night, Brian knows I fall asleep and I usually have my crazy ideas. And I had the idea last night of like, what if it was a setting the player could choose, like a slider. On one side of the spectrum was realistic, on the other side of the spectrum was crazy stylized, like even more than this. And you just kind of dial in what you want. Like, could be interesting. I don't know, but it would probably be extremely hard to do that. But I thought it'd be interesting.
You played some Lonely Mountain Downhill too, right, Joe?
Oh yeah, I got them on Kickstarter back in the day. It's a great game. I love the look of their game too. The colors and like that's the vibrancy of it and just how, I don't know. I mean, part of the reason I play that game a lot is just because I want to get into the environment and it's so beautiful. So that's kind of what our goal was for this. I don't know. I feel like the hyper realistic ones can't be. That's a tree. Like, I think if you go kind of artsy, stylized, you can make it look more beautiful than real life. And I think that is what I want. You know, sometimes real life is ugly. So, it's a video game. Make it better.
Speaking of stylized games, we were playing, you were playing, and I was watching you play. What is it, Bike World? Is that the new one that's out now?
Wheel World.
Wheel World, yeah, that's an interesting looking game.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly stylized, that's for sure. I don't think they'll be putting real world brands in that game, probably. If I had to guess.
No. I didn't think so.
Looks interesting, though.
Would you guys rather me keep working on this for a fast time, or would you rather me go play new map? New map doesn't have racing, so it'd just be me kind of messing around.
But it's new.
You guys tell me.
While we're waiting for them, Joe, what was the first game that you remember playing? The first like riding game? You know, for me, of course, it was motocross, but like it was mine was Ricky Carmichael's Motocross Championship, I think it was called. I used to play this band called Karma to Burn. I would play their CD over and over and again and just burn laps in that game all the time. I loved it. What was the first game where you were riding a bike of some kind that you remember playing that you were really into?
Dave Mira. What was his game called? Was it
right.
Dave Mira BMX or Dave Mira BMX was the first one, and then Matt Hoffman came out with his version shortly after. Those were the two.
Were those PlayStation?
Yeah, I think so. I was probably playing either on PlayStation 2 or maybe the original Xbox. I forget. But those games, obviously the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I know it's not a bike game, but like that kind of game. There was like an X Games game at one point that was snowboarding. In all those games I remember kind of my childhood. In Gran Turismo, played a lot of Gran Turismo. I don't remember playing a ton of bike games other than the Dave Mirra and the Matt Hoffman games. I don't think there were a lot out there. Bad time.
Earlier, you were talking about if we go for whatever art style, we have to own it. I would take it farther and say every single decision we make this whole time we have to own completely. Like if we're not ready to own it, then we're making a mistake in doing it.
Yeah.
Everything.
And some stuff I would love to do, but it's just unrealistic for a team of 4 people. I think that was a skipped gate. Yeah. Like,
ATV Off-Road Fury 2.
a lot of people say maybe some remodels but slightly improved lighting realism. Yeah. A lot of people say they want like customizable bikes where you could like, oh, I want a Fox fork and I want these bars and I want this frame and these brakes and like picking every little component. And yeah, that'd be super cool and I'd love to do that. But the kind of games you've played that do that kind of thing are from AAA studios with thousands of employees or hundreds. Like 4 people can't go make thousands of bike components, put them in a game and let you kind of customize every component on your bike. It's not going to happen.
No, but 4 people can make a game that you do not want to put down and that you stay up until 4 in the morning sessioning with. They can do that for sure.
Exactly. So,
you just have to make smart decisions.
We're going to have a bunch of customization, especially when it comes to like clothes and helmets, gloves, goggles, all that kind of stuff. We'll have a ton of that. We're hoping to get a bunch of bikes in, but they're mostly going to be complete bikes, and then you could change colors of every component. So if, I really would like, I think that's easy to do. Like every single component could basically have color choice. But yeah, I don't think you'll be able to pick like specific forks and frames, and probably be mostly complete bikes. Plan that I have is to try to partner with real bike brands and like just put in, full package bikes, and that is kind of like a cosmetic change that you can pick. Uh-oh. Oh, did anyone pick a new map or stay on this map, Brian? I can't read chat.
No. Which tells me do what you're feeling.
Well, like I might get a fast time soon. I love too that the right stick kind of, you can do this. Probably need to smooth it out so it doesn't look so janky, but you can suck the bike up or push it down. Makes it really nice when you're like, pumping little bumps and jumps, but also like if you're gonna case something, you can kind of suck the bike up like you would in real life. Try not to case it. I think what this track is, you could be down a decent amount and make it up easily later. I don't know, 1.5 seconds, I could probably still make this up if it was a crazy good run. Not if you do that though. A lot of people also want something I'll talk about because other people might watch this later, but a lot of people want like customizable parts or tunable bikes. So, you put on a different fork and all of a sudden now it changes the suspension. Or you could tune your suspension so you could like add air to it and stiffen it up, or change the damping, all those kind of things. That's another thing I don't want to do, and it's not because we can't or we're too small, which I do think it would take a lot of extra effort and time, but it's a design decision because I don't like, this is just me personally, but I guess when I'm kind of in charge of the game, I can do what I want. I don't like games that have that stuff. Like when I play MX bikes, I just have to go on Google and be like, all right, give me a good setup, because I don't want to go deal with the setup. I don't care. I just want to play the game and have fun playing the game. And then what happens is if I lose in MX bikes or another game that has setups, I question, is it my setup that's messing me up, or is it my skill? Like what happened here? And then it leaves doubt in my mind, where if it's a game where everyone's on the exact same bike with the exact same stats and I lose, there's no excuse. Like I know it was just me. So that's why we will have bike classes like downhill, enduro, trail, hopefully a dirt jumper, maybe someday even things like BMX bikes. Those will all have different stats, but as long as each bike within, if we, let's say we have 10 different downhill bikes, all of them will act the same. They'll just look different. And I like that because then it's more competitive that way, I feel.
Yeah, I agree, Harpy. I don't think it makes sense in this game.
Oh, come
Aaron says the thunderstorm is really adding to the coziness. If that's what we're going for, maybe that means we need to add some thunderstorms into this game at some point, Joe.
So you guys can hear it? I was wondering if you could. Thunderstorm would be nice. Come on, let's go. Let's make a good run. Nope, no.
Looking good. Ah.
I want to get one good time on here and then we'll go to the new map. But that could be hours, so buckle up. You know, the key is we got to get the core elements in, which is big open world map. We need to get our own bike and rider model, at least for the downhill bike. Downhill bike's priority. If we don't get the other bikes in time, you know, we will at some point, but for now, downhill bike. Getting all the animations in there, getting the third-person camera, getting the challenge system. Like I said, there'll be race challenge. There'll also be other challenges, like trick challenges and other things.
Challenges.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. The progression system, you know, the way you're going to unlock parts of the mountain. Like when you first, when you first start the game, only one chairlift will be open, and that'll only access a small part of the mountain with like easier trails. And then you'll have to, play and progress and unlock other parts of the mountain, unlock other types of bikes, skins, stuff like that. So we got to get all that in there. What else is like priority? Obviously all the little things that come with it, like we need a proper settings menu and be able to like change your controls if you want, and video settings and all the stuff that we haven't done yet. Need all that. Man, this thunder's crazy. Slow it down, slow it down. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. But that's kind of the basics. Then there's like other nice to haves and things we want. Like tricks. People want tricks. So someday I hope we can add tricks, but that's not priority right now. We want to dial in the racing, kind of just the free roaming and the fun. We also want to have a lot of like exploration elements and Easter eggs. So we're going to hopefully be squeezing that stuff in the map. So you can explore the map and kind of find new things.
We have to get Jake in there.
Oh, absolutely. Jake will be... I hate to spoil everything, but first stream, there's not that many.
Well, we don't need to give.
Okay.
We don't have to give all the details. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd love to have dogs in the game, especially Jake, and you can kind of become friends with them, and then they become your trail dog and kind of follow you around. I think that'd be fun. I don't know if that's hard to do, but maybe animating a dog's hard. But I hope someday we can do that. I don't know if it's fun. I want it in the game. Oh, did I skip? No, we're good. Oh, that was terrible. Sometimes that cheater line just bites me. Ooh, that was good. That was real good. Did I just skip though?
Hey, Solarix, what's up? We have a noob in the chat. Solarix, who is loading up the new map for the first time and says it's awesome. So that to me says, once you get your good time here, Joe, it's time to move on to the new track.
Nice. I think this will be the last one right here. See if we can. Scrub. We need to make scrubs better. I need to be able to scrub harder. Do you know if you're using PBR for the models, like normal roughness, metallic ambient, etc.? Dude, I don't know anything. I'm not a technical anything.
Yeah. To me, PBR is Pabst Blue Ribbon. I do not know what that means.
Yeah, we would have to ask Maggie.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff probably hasn't even been decided yet because we really haven't done a ton. Like art has barely been worked on in this project so far. Oh man, what time is it? 8:20. Yeah, we really need to get on the new map, but it's so addicting to try to get this good time. I just want to get another top to bottom. That's decent. I love jumping into this berm. Oh, that was a bad jump, though.
I'm wondering if Ted is still in the chat. Are you still here, Ted, by chance? Probably look and find out, maybe, but don't know.
It is hot in this room. That was fast. Ah, I hate that though. Oh. Oop, too far. Terrible.
That was also how Mad Skills is, Aaron. It's one of the things that's the most Mad Skills like about this game, in my opinion. The restartability and just that challenge of putting together all of those perfect lines and not making any mistakes along the way.
Cool thing about it though is it's just like real downhill racing. Like those guys all practice, and then they've got all the different sections and the different sectors, and they're trying to dial them all in. And man, I'd just love to have like a replica series where we could have like a qualification period, and then the top, I don't know, 20, 30 riders of the week get put on a live stream, and they've had all week to practice, and then they get one finals run, and we live stream it and see who's the best. I think that'd be so cool. Whoopsies. Oh. There's been so many things that we've, through testing and all this, we've like landing that, right? That log jump. It's a little ridiculous. Would you do that in real life? Probably not. So we ask ourselves, like, do we need to fix this? Like, should we nerf it so that your crash detection is a little more sensitive? But then we just ask ourselves, well, is it fun? Like, is it fun to do that huge gap and nail it and land it sometimes? Yeah. So maybe
that's kind of the point of what we're doing. We're making video games for a living, so making something that's fun is kind of the point.
Another example. What was the other example I was going to tell you guys? The jumping thing. Like if you hop around, sorry, my nose is itchy. If you hop around, you go a little faster. And it's like, that's not realistic. You don't see dudes in real life like just jumping all the time. You do see them kind of hopping over obstacles to be faster, which I think is realistic. But it's fun to do that and like encourage playfulness and hopping around and moving around. So leave it in. There'll be a lot of stuff like that, and people, the hardcore enthusiasts who really want like a realistic simulator might not like all the decisions we make, but at the end of the day, I want it to be fun, not frustrating. And I just get annoyed with games that just frustrate me. Games that make me feel like I'm fighting the game instead of like fighting my own skills they annoy me.
And as you said, it's not possible to make something that everybody loves anyway. It's just not possible. So make something you believe in, and hopefully enough people love it, and you're okay.
Yep. And honestly, when we were making it internally, we were sending it to friends and family and coworkers and people we've worked with in the past, and the feedback we were getting was all super positive. People were like, I love it. I can't stop playing it. I'm addicted. And and that's all cool because it's friends and family, and you're like, of course your friends and family love it. And we thought we had something good, but wasn't sure until you released it to you guys, and then we released the Patreon, and I mean, so far the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive.
Speaking of overwhelmingly positive, this chat just got infinitely cooler because Hodge just entered LCQ Studios. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man.
What's up, Michael?
The brain behind the fantastic Chasing the Dream motocross PC game that we tried to work on together, and unfortunately the stars did not align, but fantastic guy and awesome game too.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow LCQ Studios. They're working on a motocross game that's going to be amazing. I think it'll be, I don't know, I mean, he's got his own vision, but I think it'll be one of the best motocross games. I think it'll feel, a good balance between sim and arcade somewhere. At least that's what you were doing before, Michael. I don't know if things have changed. But,
he says, on that note, will you guys add the ability to spawn at whatever trail you want to ride, or just in the general vicinity? Or we have to ride a pretty far distance? He wants to know.
So, I mean, you tell me what you want. I'm curious what you want. But if it was up to me, So let's get the new map fired up.
Well, right off the bat, Hodge, we have instant restarts. Obviously, that's different than riding to get back to the start. So we in that way we are going for, get back to racing ASAP.
Let's see if I can.
Our stream just ended.
No, it's just changing games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my idea, and I'm opening the new map so I could show you. We don't have a map in the new map yet, but I don't. So I'm gonna try to explain. I wish I had my other computer with. I have an image of this map and where we're gonna put all the chairlifts. So it's a huge map, but there's gonna be like 6 chairlifts on it. So I think each of the 6 chairlifts will take you to a spot, and then at the top of the spot, let me go find one of the hubs. Let's go find one of the hubs right now, and I'll show you what I mean. But I think what I would want is you could fast travel to any of the chairlifts, and then you could take the chairlift up, and then at the top of the chairlift is like where most of the trails are going to be. So basically there will be like 6 different hubs in the game, and I think you would be able to fast travel to those hubs, and then from those hubs, to reach the trail won't be very far. That's probably the way we'll do it. I also don't care if people wanted fast travel to every trailhead and you just go on the map and say go here, then I would be fine with that too, because I feel like the players who want to do like the realistic thing of taking the chairlift up and all that kind of stuff, you can still do that. Just because fast travel is an option doesn't mean you're forced to use it. And I think if you don't have fast travel, it just annoys the players who want to use it. So I'm all for fast travel stuff. So whether it'll be fast travel to any of the lifts or to the actual trailhead, I don't know, but we'll have something. And then the way the racing works is, it could be that once you've kind of unlocked a trail and you've raced it, then it unlocks the ability to fast travel back to that trail ever again. So we still have some exploration elements where you kind of need to explore and find the trails, but then once you've discovered them, then it unlocks fast track or whatever. Something like that.
Do you have any specific ideas, Hodge, or anybody else that you would like to see? We'll see.
All right, we're gonna put a marker down right here. Is this where one of the trail? I don't know if this is I don't think this is a spot a lift is gonna be. I know there's a spot over here, so I'll show you that. But yeah, well, let's see. It's kind of hard to tell. This is like a huge valley. It's kind of bowl shaped. Imagine a bowl, but you took out like a quarter of it. So I guess it's like horseshoe shaped. And there'll be like 4 lifts in 2 stages that take you to the top kind of front. And then there'll be a couple lifts that take you off to the sides. So there's tons of different parts of the mountain, and we purposely built the mountain so like one section of the mountain's really steep, another one's kind of mellow, and then another one's even more mellow. So the landscape of the whole mountain varies as well. So depending on where you're riding will kind of depend on the style of trails you're hitting. What's chat saying, Brian? Anything good down there?
Yeah, Joey says he thinks I do think that if you try to corner way before the berm on an off camber, you should slide out. But maybe some people wouldn't like that, he says. I think that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a little bit of slippage at times. It's a little too like you just are always gripping now. Do I have speed enough to hit this one?
Erin makes another good point too. She says if she's playing on her own, she probably fast travels. If she's playing with friends, they might chill,
Yeah.
She'll take the time and be social for a while before they hit it again.
The other thing I want to do, a lot of games annoy me with their friends and party system, and I'm sure it's hard to do. I don't know. I haven't made a game yet with party system, so we'll see what happens. But I want to make it as like pain-free as possible when you're playing with friends. Like I hate in games when you're playing with friends and then one of them takes off and you crash and they keep going and now you're way behind and it's like, oh, meet me back at the trailhead, and then you gotta wait and you're like, where are you at, dude? Come in. And it's like, I just want a button. Like if I'm let's pretend me and Brian are playing right now and Brian was ahead of me and I crashed. I just want the ability to hit one button and I spawn right behind him at speed and I'm already like back on him, like riding again. I think something like that would be amazing. And then also like you guys could just set down like a session marker for the whole party, and then people could just respawn at the party session marker. You know, so everyone could be like, all right, let's restart, and then everyone hits their own restart button, and then you all kind of meet at the top and do another train down the mountain, things like that.
Dude, back to the idea about respawning behind your buddy. That's awesome because, you know, I would want to ride with you, of course. Spend a lot of time just exploring with you, but I'm not going to be able to ride as fast as you are, so it makes it difficult. But if I could just kind of go for it anyway.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I'm tailing you again, then I would learn, I would get faster. Yeah, I love that idea, man. Great idea.
Those turns right there are so fun. Like all these little hits that Cedric makes, these little side hits like this. Misjudged. All right, up here is a spot where there'll be a lift. So after this jump, like this trail will end. Like that's technically the end of that trail. And then this big flat area, like all up in here, it's kind of like this big plateau. The lift will take up to this area. So then you get up to this area somewhere and, you know, a bunch of trails. Right now we just have this one trail, but eventually there will be just tons of trails here taking you out. But let's go show you guys this whole, I know most of you have already played this, but I just think it's crazy how big this mountain is. This is some tech stuff here. I love this jump right here, gapping down into there. Hit the perfect line right through those rocks. Slow it down here. A little wonky. I'll fix that. Here's a good view of the mountain. So, you know, to the left right there, that ridge on the left, like a lift will take you to that. There'll be lifts that take you up to the top. Lifts that take you over there, like straight ahead. And like I said earlier, you'll just have one unlocked at the start, and then you gotta, you know, progress a little bit to unlock the next one and the next one. You can't just like find them and they unlock. You gotta do work. But it won't be too much work. It's fun work. This is probably the coolest feature in this whole map right now. Look at this. Oh, we need to fix the hitbox or whatever it's called. It's a little buggy right now. This tech section is super fun. Haven't found the fast line through here yet. So many lines. But that's why first person's important, because I think in third person, to find like a good line through there is going to be hard. You can't see your front tire in third person. And I feel like in mountain biking, you know, you got to be precise and put your front tire where you need to. Uh-oh. All right, so that was the end of the trail, but the trail's going to eventually keep going, right? So let's pretend this trail keeps going just to show you guys how ridiculously long this is going to be. Look at all this nice terrain in here. So yeah, straight ahead, top of that peak, there'll be a lift takes you up there. That'll be some more like mellow riding type stuff up there. It's not super steep. These little divot things right here are actually going to be rivers. We did have water at one point and it disappeared. It'll come back and we'll have water physics. So you could ride in the water, do water crossings, you know, all that stuff. That'll be fun. But yeah, it just goes on forever and ever and ever. Like over here is going to be a really chill, mellow hill. So like the tutorial track will probably be something. Let's see if we can get over here. I need to make the pedal speed up hills better just for more maneuverability. I think it's a little too realistic and annoying right now. I did it realistic to my climbing skills, so it's not great. But like up here will probably be some beginner trails. Like maybe I think one of the lifts is going to take you kind of this flat spot. And then, you know, got some beginner trails that probably just flow down this kind of mellow section. That's a lake. It's kind of like a little inlet. But then around that lake will kind of be there's an even bigger lake after. But down in this flat spot where there's not as many trees, this is kind of where the little town will be. There'll be a bike shop in here you can walk into, and that's where you'll buy new gear and bikes and change things. Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait for Maggie to touch this too. She hasn't done anything on this map. Let's go back to the top. These jumps are good to practice scrubbing because you don't need to jump on them. You can just scrub them. That one, if you scrub the first two, then the third one makes it harder. But and this really satisfying hip right here, super fun. Love that thing.
Does anybody have ideas for track names? This is the first live stream, Joe. We should throw out the opportunity for the people who came to watch and hang out with us for the very first one to throw out some track names and see if we can get something into the game.
I mean, I think that's a $100 Patreon tier, Brian. You're giving away.
No, but it's
free
also the
name a trail for free. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know, but we have 10 people with us right now in our very first live stream, and I think we should have the opportunity to throw some out and see if we can get something into the game. No guarantees, of course, but if anyone has an idea, throw it up. Worth $100 after all.
Yeah, these trails are fun. Getting risky. Can't wait to fix up flips and spins. You guys keep saying you want it faster, so we will speed that up. I do want the different bike classes to have different attributes though, so I think the downhill bike will definitely be the slowest when it comes to flips and spins. Probably have the lowest bunny hop. But it'll have like the best crash forgiveness and like hard landing and stuff like that. Worst climbing.
Do you think people will want to switch up their bikes and ride different ones in different circumstances? Or do you think
I think if they
people will
don't
pick one with one?
If they don't want to switch up their bikes for different circumstances, then we didn't design it well.
Well said.
Yeah, I think every bike class should have, you know, there should be a reason to use every bike class.
So give me an example of what the reason to use the different bike classes would be. Let's talk through that.
I mean, I think a downhill, you're going to want to use it on the gnarliest, most rough, crazy stuff because it's going to have the best suspension. You'll be able to go over stuff like this a lot easier. So for stuff that's like pure descents and just crazy gnarly stuff would be the downhill bike. If you're on a trail that's got a little bit of crazy stuff, but maybe there's some little bit of climbing, maybe the enduro bike. And then if you're on like more mellow trails and there's maybe some climbing and some descents, but they're kind of all smooth and nice, you know, maybe you use the trail bike like for the greens and the blues. And then if you want to do tricks and you're down in like some dirt jump trails that are like proper dirt jumps, you know, then you're going to want to use the dirt jumper. You know, if you took a dirt jumper on something like this, you're just going to be crashing everywhere. Like even riding on this stuff should feel horrible on a dirt jumper. So, you know, I think it depends on the trail. Very smooth trails with maybe some climbing. Yeah, trail bike. Rougher trails with maybe some climbing and some downhill enduro bike. Just crazy rough downhill stuff. Obviously the downhill bike. So that's what I think. I don't know.
So you probably would use, yeah. So what bike would you use on Aaron's suggested track, Optimus Climb, do you think?
Optimus Climb.
Pretty good name.
If it was mostly climbing, I would probably say a trail bike.
Trail bike, yeah, of course.
But if it's a climb into a crazy descent, then I'd probably want to use maybe an enduro bike. I think I want to go to here. What do you guys think? Like, what would you want to see in different bike classes? I also think like the lighter the bike and the less suspension travel, the more maneuverable it would be. You know, we could even do like a hardtail, could do a rigid bike. We could get crazy if we wanted to. you know, the more you do, the more the physics need to, a little bit harder to do custom physics for a bunch of different bikes. But
Are bike classes on the roadmap before global release or after global release?
I believe for 1.0, it's on the roadmap. For early access, it's not. I think there are things that would come out in early access. So early access, to reach early access, we just need to dial in the downhill bike. And then during early access, I think we had planned to do the enduro and the trail bike. And then for 1.0, they would be included.
What do you have in mind, Joe, as far as riding with friends is concerned? How do you envision that?
Yeah, it'll mostly just be a feature for fun, kind of chill vibes, I think. We won't have like PvP racing with collisions turned on. Like that kind of stuff's a lot harder to do when it comes to multiplayer and deal with latency and kind of all that stuff. So I think it'll mostly be linking up with friends, seeing each other, but you'll be you know, you won't be able to hit them if you ride into them. I think you would just like ride through them, kind of like Ghosted. They won't look ghosted though. And more about just kind of hanging out, riding together, following each other down the lines. Obviously, I would be nice if you could do some sort of like a multiplayer, maybe race session where you say like, hey, we all want to go race this same track, and go for our best times, and then maybe you kind of get like a session leaderboard to see who got the best time that session. Something like that would be cool. But yeah, there won't be like mass races where there's a bunch of people racing on the same track at the same time. Nothing like that, I don't think. More about just kind of hanging out, hanging with your friends, having fun, goofing off, riding trails. I don't know. That's the plan, but things could change.
I like the idea one of the guys, I think it was on TikTok maybe, had of having like a local leaderboard where you're literally using like 3 initial leaderboards and things like that. Well, that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I would like to have a local mode too, because I don't know if it's just me. I mean, I guess not, because he wanted it too, but there's times when I'm just hanging out with friends, so like, you know, we're hanging out in the living room and everyone wants to play, and it'd be nice if you could like go into a mode where you could have like a temporary leaderboard. Brian, you writing down any of these good names we could use?
I've got them. Holy Spokes is the next one, yeah. Well, when you came to town for the Pittsburgh Supercross, we were taking like leaderboards on paper, you know. But and the whole time we were playing, we were like, man, we need to have like some local scenario for this situation, having a party before a Supercross race. You know, use paper to keep track of. So we gotta resolve that one day.
Curious what you like. What is your guys' #1 most excited thing you're looking for us to do? Like, if it was up to you, what would be the next thing we should work on? Man, that turned so fun. I'm gonna go hit some gaps in a minute. I think the best bang for our buck right now is making it look, rider and the bike looking good, the animations looking good, getting third person in there, and I think half of the comments we get on social media will go away. People talking about 1 brake lever, why is there not 2 brakes, why doesn't the suspension move, why is our arms cut off? This is like half the comments, and I feel like once we fix all that, it'll be looking a lot better.
Hodge says, do you guys plan on having challenges work in multiplayer? I think it would be fun to try and smash challenges with friends.
Yeah, I don't see why. I don't see any reason not to do that. I think if you're playing with friends, all that stuff should work. For sure.
Found Harpy says, just looking forward to more trails to race. That kind of brings me to something I kind of wanted to bring up, which is, like, I know Joe and I have talked about this a lot. We feel like it's a serious responsibility that we have to make supporting us on Patreon worth it for people. Like, you know, we're asking people to hang in there with us over the course of a year, maybe a year plus, as we try to get this thing off the ground. And I think one of the ways that we can make sure that it's worth it is by just constantly adding dope ass trails to this game. And we have 4 people on payroll in this company, and one of them is a track designer. You know, so I think that shows that we intend to have just kind of building and building and building and constantly putting out new stuff to ride, new stuff to do, all through development from now moving forward. We feel like it's a bit of a responsibility. So I hear you, man. I kind of want the same thing, more trails to race, and we're just gonna keep doing them, building this world out.
The good thing is that's all Cedric does. Like, that's his only job, is to make trails. So he'll just, like Brian said, he'll just be constantly making trails throughout the whole thing. So even if there's no other update, because maybe Zach's busy working on something that will take him a couple months or whatever, at the very least we'll be updating the map, you know, probably on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis with new trails. The other thing is we really want to dial in the physics. I mean, we're mostly there. I don't think there's a ton left to do. Little tweaks here and there. But I feel like that's important to get that done too, because that'll affect how the trails ride. And the sooner we can do that, the better. It sucks when you have to redo the physics a little, and then all of a sudden all Cedric's trails break and he's got to go tweak everything again.
That's another reason to get to focus on physics initially. Like, nothing else really matters if physics dialed in, because all of your trails are based off the physics that you build. It's not like you can build a massive world and a physics system and then just completely go back to the drawing board on the physics, and trails are all fine. It doesn't work that way usually.
Just like in this game, how you can pick up the front wheel, you know, if you want to ride over some rocks, like that, you know, you can pick up the front wheel a little bit, try to roll over them. I don't know, it just reminds, like, it's intuitive, like real riding is, in my opinion. It just comes natural, and I just do the same stuff. I totally ride this kind of stuff in real life, all day, every day, on top of a mountain. Nothing like a 6-inch wide wooden thing on top of a cliff.
Joey is advocating for a hardtail, so he's definitely down with the classes and would like to see an enduro hardtail in the game.
Enduro hardtail, eh? I even have an idea for like a cross-country race mode. Some of you guys would be like, boring. If Chase was in here, he'd probably be into it with me. He probably went to bed though. But the idea of like, if we could, I mean, my dream is that this game became so popular and made so much money that we could just make it like a bike world game. Like, there's just every bike type, every category. You could do cross-country races. Like you could have cross-country bikes, and most of the racing I've done in real life was cross-country stuff because I'm from the Midwest. I think I've done one downhill race in my life, and everything else was cross-country. But cross-country is different, right? You're usually doing multiple laps on a circuit course, and you're managing like stamina and your energy and eating and drinking and passing off bottles and goos at the check, you know, at the whatever. So drafting, I guess, could be a part of it. Like, it could be totally different kind of vibe and style of riding, but I still think it'd be interesting. So, you know, depending on how successful the game is, kind of depends on what we had. I could also see down here there's skate parks and BMX bikes, and it's just like a bike world of all kinds of crazy stuff. It'd be super fun. Not road bikes though, Chase. Oh, you are still here and you didn't go to sleep, but I'm not putting your road bikes in this game. Sorry, it's boring. Everything else is cool. Unicycles before road bikes.
Joey, there's no doubt that we're going to continue to be transparent, and that we're going to continue to be receptive to feedback. These are non-negotiables that we were very clear with each other about from the very beginning. This is going to be an honest effort. We're going to give everything we have, and we're going to tell everybody what we're doing. That is what's going to happen.
Fun for us too. Like, as a game developer, it's not fun to just sit behind closed doors for 2 years making a game and then you come out with it and you're like, I hope everyone loves it. Like, you want to talk about it. If you're psyched on it and you're having fun and it's what you love and it's what you're passionate about, you want to talk about it. You want to show it off. You want to play it with people. So that's, you know, that's part of the reason too. It's more fun, but it's also going to make a better product. Like, you guys have already given us ideas that we didn't have, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Obviously that makes way more sense. I love this little flat table right here. So fast. I wonder if, do you guys think, this is the downhill bike that you've all been playing on. Do you guys think it needs to be more squishy? Should it feel more suspension-y, or do you think it feels okay? I think when the visuals of the suspension moving come in, even though it, I think that's going to change things. So yeah, whoops. I think when the suspension's animated, it'll make it feel better as well. Like there is actual suspension physics happening, you just can't see it. But I think when you can see it as well, it'll make it better. But I wonder if it needs to be squishier. Like maybe this is how the enduro bike is supposed to feel. I don't know. What do you guys think? Almost at the 2-hour mark, which will probably cut it off then.
Aaron says, what about education for those of us fairly new or brand new to mountain biking, like what the different bike types do and why? I think probably good UI design resolves that. Like if we design the game well, people will naturally learn from it in this way.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
I can give you the real dumbed down version of all the different bike types. I'm not like a geometry expert. All these bikes have crazy different geometries, and if you get to a real like gear nerd, they'll tell me I'm all wrong probably. But the short version is it goes in order. We'll go from the least amount of suspension travel to the most amount of suspension travel is trail, enduro, downhill. Dirt jumper would be first, actually. Dirt jumpers would have the least, then a trail bike, then a enduro bike, then a downhill bike. An enduro bike is kind of like a mix between a trail and a downhill. Like it's still decent at climbing. It's not the best at climbing, but it's good enough. And then it's still good at going downhill. A trail will have even less suspension. And then the downhill one, like, is horrible for climbing. No one wants to climb on a downhill bike. It's like, why would you? But it's got the most amount of suspension. But obviously the geometries are different, right? So like a trail bike, you might be more upright. A downhill bike, you might be like kind of positioned more leaning kind of backwards. But that's the short version. I think in the game it'll be easy to understand because they'll all have stats, and you can just look at the stats and know, oh, okay, this one's better for climbing, and this one's better for descents, and this one is better for crash avoidance type thing. Like the bike you're on, your Trek, what was it, 3500 or something? That's like a hardtail. Might even call it a cross country, kind of like maybe a hardtail like trail bike or something. So that has very little suspension travel. It's not meant for anything super crazy. I mean, it's very similar to the bike I started on. And I did a lot of crazy stuff on it, so you can push it to the limits, but yeah, more comfortable, kind of sitting upright. Not a ton of suspension travel, but it makes it more responsive. The less suspension travel you have, the more power you get to the pedals, like climbing and stuff with the suspension. When you pedal, if you have a real squishy and a lot of suspension, every time you pedal, you're kind of losing energy into the suspension. So when I would do cross-country races, I would, you know, if there was a big climb coming up, I'd even lock out my suspension, just like quickly hit a button on my, like a little lever on the suspension and lock it out so when I could climb better. And you get to the top, unlock it, go down.
Hodge thinks the downhill bike might maybe add a bit softer, he thinks.
Okay.
Downhill bike. He said maybe the visual will sell it, but he thinks it could maybe use a touch.
Yeah, I think so too, maybe. Especially because, like, if I come, I'll do it up here, I'll come to a stop. I mean, you see, like, you know, you see the pros before race, they click in and they're sitting there bouncing on their bike, balancing, and it's just super squishy, even if they're just sitting there kind of bouncing on it. So I think a good way to kind of replicate that would just be like come to a stop and just kind of like be sitting here doing this, kind of just bouncing it up and down and feeling it squish and seeing it, you know, and I think it needs more than it has right now. Wheelies are fun. They could be better though.
Joe, 10:58.
Yeah. Any last comments or questions, anyone? Should we do one more top to bottom? Should we go? Let's go tech side, top
Yeah.
to bottom.
I used to tell my son when we would go out shooting hoops, you got to end on a make. Let's end on a make tonight.
Aaron said, I think visuals will help a lot. Yeah, I do too. It just looks so stiff right now. That's why I think, you know, priority is when Maggie gets back, start working on a new bike. When Zach gets back, he starts doing some physics tweaks. When Maggie's done with the bike, gives it to Zach. Zach implements it, starts animating the suspension in conjunction with the new physics tweaks. We start testing that, see how that feels. Make more tweaks if necessary. Then Maggie can start working on the rider model. Get some proper hands with some gloves. Or not gloves if you guys don't want gloves. I like gloves. I ride with gloves. I don't know how people ride without gloves.
An extra brake lever.
Yep. That was deep. Need to figure out how to like translate the pump mechanic to the player. Because there is a pump mechanic, but you don't know when you're doing it and if you did it right or not, and I don't like that, so we gotta figure that out. I don't want it to be something crazy in your face, like something subtle would be nice. I don't know if it could be a sound effect or... I don't know. Gotta figure that out. If anyone's got ideas, let me know. Was fun. I always find myself here like testing out new stuff, and then 4 hours go by and I'm like, okay, I got stuff to do. Oops, a little squirrely. I think that's one of my favorite parts, is jumping into that. Oh, missed it. Can ride this to the end.
Since you're not going for a time, I'll interrupt you with another idea from Haji. Says maybe subtle speed trail effect for the pumps, similar to Mad Skills Motocross 3 trails, but not that extreme.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, probably. Something like that.
Just in the camera, not in world space, he says. And Aaron thinks it's easy to sink hours into this game, and I tend to agree with you, Aaron, very much so.
Man, this section's so fun.
Harpy agrees as well.
Nice. Ah, I missed that. Wait. Is this the wrong... This is the wrong build. I'm playing the wrong build this whole time. This trail goes on.
Huh.
Yeah. Cedric made more and it came here and went around and there's a couple more jumps. Why didn't you guys tell me earlier? Is this the version you guys have or does the trail go on? Maybe I built the wrong version for everyone. You guys should have more jumps though. There should be another turn, goes uphill, turns around, and then 2 more jumps down here. Just now realized I was like, this is shorter than normal. Anyway, that was the first 2-hour stream. I think that was pretty good. Thanks you guys for hanging out.
Yeah. I had fun.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think of this. If you want us to do more, how often? Is this time good? Or should we do a better time? I think as things get more involved and the project progresses, we'll have more things to discuss and it'll be fun. But things have been slow lately because everyone's on vacation. So, you know. What are you guys saying? Different suspension setups could cater to different riding styles. Yep, that's true. I don't think it's too much like a simulator that way. You know, I think having the different classes and they each have their own kind of stats, you're going to unlock them slowly as well. I think it'll be fun. And as you unlock them, you'll kind of know what you like and what you don't. But as long as there's not like setups, you got to tweak and do all this stuff. I think it's good. Thanks, Aaron. I live in Canada and the game will be a godsend. Yeah. Cedric's in Canada, our level designer too.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Harpy. Struggling on the little wall ride part. Oh, it's busted. Yeah, the wall ride's broke. So you're not struggling. We did it wrong. It was working for me in Unity, and when I built it, it quit working. So I think there's like a hitbox problem, and the hitbox is invisible, and like, is that what the term is? And you're like hitting the wall before it visually looks like you're hitting the wall. So that's why it's all janky.
I've heard that a few times, but I haven't experienced that. I've been able to ride that wall ride numerous times and haven't experienced any bugs at all. I don't understand what that is.
Yeah, because there were some builds where it worked and another one didn't. So maybe when I built it for you guys, I did something. I don't know. Probably my fault.
Okay.
But cool. All right. That's it. Now I got to figure out how to end the stream. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye. All right. That's it.
You good?